Hi, friends. It's Reverend Laurie Gist with Unity of Ocala for our weekly love notes on this, what will be June 9th, right? Yes, tomorrow. It is a glorious summer day, and the kids are out of school this week. We live only a few blocks from the school that my kids went to. Both the high school and the grade school are there, and now Kinsley goes to. So I get to hear the kids, especially Friday afternoons when school's out. It's just wild up there, and it brings back such memories. I remember growing up, we didn't ever really go on a vacation, my family and I, especially after my dad died. We just loved the summer break. And we never went anywhere to stay in a motel, but my grandparents, who practically raised me, lived right next to a Best Western motel. Now, it used to be part of the countryside when they first bought the house, which they owned their entire marriage for over 60 years. But Best Western came and bought up all the homes on that huge country block. But my grandpa wouldn't sell because he was so stubborn. He wasn't going anywhere, and he wasn't going to let a corporation push him out of his home. So Best Western didn't care. They just built the hotel around him. So his house was kind of in this parking lot part of the Best Western Hotel. But my grandmother made friends with the owners, and we got to swim in that pool anytime we wanted. And when I experience June, I think of those memories of waking up early in the morning to the sounds of Marco Polo, Marco Polo, because my window in my grandma's front bedroom would be open so the breeze could come through, and it was right next to the pool, and I would dive out of bed, jump into my bathing suit, and be off and in that pool all day. Grandma would make me get out for lunch and make me get out for dinner, but I spent the rest of my summer life in that pool. That's what I think of when I think of summer and June. And I want to share with you in a minute from this amazing book, Romancing the Ordinary, by the lovely Sarah Ben Brothnick. She's the one that wrote the gratitude work, the gratitude journal. Um, this Sunday, after church, we started a new dialogue, a new experience that we're going to continue for as long as people are interested. And it's just a discussion about all things unity. This first one was especially important, our open discussion, open unity dialoguing, because I just wanted everybody to check in. It's been so long since we've seen each other and since we've experienced the church atmosphere and energy and closeness that I just wanted to see everybody's faces up close and personal and listen. It's also a way to gather information for what people are hungry for, what they love about unity, what they're curious about, what they want to learn more of. And of course, unity folks, they have lots to chat about. And I had the privilege of being in a group of very well seasoned unity teachers. We have one congregant, Miss Tanya, who was born to unity parents, members no less of the divine Eric Butterworth's church family in the Rochester Center in New York. She has been a Unity member for 79 years. I am dubbing her our Myrtle. We have an in-house Myrtle, and she reminds me a lot of Myrtle. She's very wise. We had an opportunity to chat for a while after the discussion, and I'm just in love with her. But I got a lot of great feedback and a lot of good comments. One of the things that resonated with the group, even though they've been in unity for a long time, and even though they're familiar with the teachings, they want more metaphysical interpretation of the Bible, more relations to our five principles. And ministers, we sometimes just take it unconsciously for granted that folks know what we're talking about. Each lesson that I give, and I'm sure other ministers too, in unity, are based on our unity principles, on those five beloved spiritual principles, universal principles that are our foundation for this journey on planet Earth. They are the keys to the kingdom, the keys to sanity, the keys to solving challenges and problems. But it was clear to me that these folks not only like to hear them interwoven into the stories and the lessons, but they like to know what principle I'm specifically talking about and how it relates to our own journey, and better yet, how we can apply those principles to our current situations. So I'm going to be very mindful to talk about the principle that I'm talking about during whatever lesson I'm giving, but I'm also going to make sure that our principles are visibly posted around the church so that when people come in, especially new visitors, which we're getting more and more of, they look at those principles and they know what unity stands for. And so I'm going to share them with you, for especially those of you who are tuning into Unity for the first time, or you haven't been with us for a while, or maybe you never heard of the principles. You only heard the teachings and didn't understand that there was a principle holding up and supporting that teaching. The Unity principles are basic spiritual laws that all spiritual communities live within and move within. And they are the first principle, that God is everywhere present, that there is no place that God is not, that God is the life force of energy that grows the trees, births the newborns, runs through us, supports our life, is in us and greater than us and all around us. And that force is a force of good, of love, eternal love. Our second unity principle is that thoughts have tremendous power. We know that in physics to be true now. That's what we were talking about on Sunday, especially the power of imagination and how through our thinking we bring things into the manifest. By connecting it to our power centers, as Myrtle did in her healing, we bring forth that idea. So the more thoughts you have about what you actually want to see manifest in your life, the more you're going to bring it about. The opposite is true too. If you are constantly thinking anger, fret, worry, fear, revenge, whatever, you're creating that magnetic field and bringing to you that very thing. So be mindful what you're praying for. We believe in the power of prayer and meditation. These are two different aspects of communication with that life force. Meditation is a time of going within, becoming still, and listening. It is also a time of reminding our inner plane who we are, what extraordinary loving force created us to be. And then prayer is a way we communicate with that life force. And we do this with every thought we have. With every thought we have, we are praying. With every word we speak, we are praying. With every feeling we have, we are praying. And that can be a tricky one if you're feeling fear, but you don't want to bring fear to you. So we learn in Unity how to become the feeling of God and manifest into our life those loving feelings that we want, and every action we take. So every thought, every feeling, every spoken word, every action taken is a prayer. That's a principle of unity. And then our fifth unity principle is the most important, I believe, because without it, the other four are merely philosophy, action. If you are not acting on these other four principles, faith without works is dead. It is in the action, in the knowing, that helps you develop a foundation of faith, of true faith, of the assurance of faith, the knowing of God. And for me, it's especially been through the greatest challenges of my life where I have stood firm in my principles and worked these principles that I have realized the greatness and grace of God. Because unity is a practice. And if you practice it, you refine it. And it is extraordinary. And that's why it is a movement. We are moving in our faith. We're not just idealizing about it. It's not just an ideologic to a religious side or the other. No, it is a practice of the principles of spiritual teachings. And you may find that that reflects and mirrors the teachings of Taoism. It does. Of Buddhism. It does. Of the sainthood of Christianity. It does. Of the Enlightenment souls and times. It does. You will find unity teachings in those branches of religion that have ascended to the echelons of spirituality and not become mired in the dogma and the rules and regulations and exclusion. It is a movement that requires us to go past those borders. That's why it's so exciting. And that's why just spewing out a principle and hoping that you catch the wave isn't good enough for me. I want to show you what that principle is and how you can use it and how you can become all that God created you to be, because you don't even know how great that is yet, right? I got to read you this little message about summer, because when I read it, it just took me back to grandma's house while she was pickling in the kitchen. They had a movie filmed in their home about the first execution in Utah. It was called The Executioner's Song because he actually went to another motel and then all that happened. I'm not sure, I didn't see the movie, but I saw my grandmother's house in it. But they had to shut down filming and they were paying them like $300 an hour. My grandfather was furious. She shut down filming for the 3 days of her pickling season because she had all this canning to do in that time frame. She made sure they all had a jar of pickles and jam. I thought it was hysterical. I still do. This is in the first chapter of June. And she talks about the feeling that we all feel as a 9-year-old, the first day of summer vacation when school is behind us and in front of us, summer days, lemonade, popsicles, and friends, and swimming pools if we're lucky. 30 days hath perfection. She calls herself the month of June. In case you haven't noticed, there's splendor in the grass and a riot of color in the garden. The fresh fragrance of freedom is in the air, and nobody's paying attention to what we're doing. Leave the back door open, turn the sprinkler on, and dare to bear. Revel in the unfinished, the improvised, the gloriously imperfect. Dunk strawberries and romance your flaws. Linger in the twilight of a summer's day. Dance with the fireflies, wink at the full moon. Oh, doesn't that take you back? Believe in midsummer magic. Bottle a rescue remedy of rose-scented sighs. Smudge Chantilly lace on your pretty face. Let each day's brush strokes reveal the incomparable beauty of your stilled life. Moments you once called ordinary now seem infused with grace. And I scribbled, I don't remember when, in this bliss you will know God. Oh, it's going to be a lovely, lovely summer as we continue to journey through the month of June, the divine month of imagination, and how incredibly powerful that gift of God really is. And if you have questions or topics for our open dialogues on Wednesdays, which is right after service for about an hour, maybe less, we're going to talk about all things unity and beyond. So if you have comments, questions, ideas, let us know and join the conversation. We will see you Sunday. I love you. God loves you. Have a great week. Bye-bye.